Hello people of the internet, I'm Saki, and this is my video on numerical bases. So what is a number base? A number base is an abstract way of showing quantities. We'll start with base 1, that's unary. The unary base works as a one-to-one interpretation of quantity, as in, if you have one annoying orange, you know one symbol to represent it, and if you have 144 somewhat less annoying oranges, you represent that quantity with 144 instances of that symbol. Base 2, or binary, is the first of the modular bases, and also due to the nature of counting as such, the base ticks over past the limit of symbols. So for base 2, let's use two symbols. One symbol now represents nothing, 0 a placeholder, and 1 now represents a single unit. So counting in base 2 goes 0, 1. At this point we've used up the only two symbols in base 2, so now we need to tick over. So from here we get 1, 0, 1, 1. And now we've reached the tick over point again, so now we need to start a new line. 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. And the tick over points. 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, and so on. Interestingly, base 2 requires a new tick over point past the next power of 2. I mean, just look at my script. Base 4, or quaternary, is the same thing. We'll just say that these four symbols represent these values, and the system of counting goes 0, 1, 2, 3. Now we've reached that tick over points, we go 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 0, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3. And the tick over points? You get the idea. So now you're thinking, so what? Why use anything other than 10? 10 is what we use. 10 is the best. Well, I say no. What determines a good base? Well, that depends on what the base is required for. Let's go with computers. Computers use transistors to send and receive and process information. A transistor only has two states, off and on. So if we say 0 is off, and on is 1, it makes perfect sense that computers use binary. However, binary numbers tend to get very large, as you saw from the screenshot, so what many computer programs use to interface with humans is hexadecimal, or base 16, which condenses binary by a divisible of 4. This makes hexadecimal very useful for coding, as reading quickly increases your productivity. Odd bases, such as 3, 5, and so on, are terrible in essence, difficult to use, and there's no real way to divide them by 2 without fractions, or by saying, in base 5 for instance, 10 over 20. So no. Uneven bases are impractical. But in terms of humans, we've used many different bases and number systems through the ages, including but not limited to base 10, 12, 20, 24, and even 60. However, I think that the best number base for humans is base 12, also known as dozenal or duodecimal. I think dozenal is the best for humans, as you can divide it wholly into 2, 4, 3, which are common fractions used by people for many things. Dozenal is optimized for this, and can be fractioned down as such, where decimal can only be halved in fifths being a highly impractical fraction due to the nature of constructing said fraction in numerical form. Because of the way integers are represented in dozenal, multiplication is also far easier to remember or calculate than in decimal. And as you can see from these tables, dozenal is far more predictable than decimal. Look at the 3 times tables, look at the 4 times tables. The middle integer is the same, with the times tables after it, sans the 7 times tables, being similar to that of decimal, if not still more regular in its nature. Well, we have 10 fingers, so it makes counting easier. And, without counting your thumb, you have a dozen finger sections between and around your knuckles with which you can count with your free thumb, and use the other hand to do the same, but can hold the dozens rather than the units. So in essence, one can use their hands as a calculator with higher efficacy than one can with the decimal and using a finger-by-finger method. I'm still used to the one with 10. Why use 12? It'll cost too much to replace everything. Well, I live in England, and nearly everything is shown in both metric and imperial, although in school we only properly learned metric, as metric is far easier to use in terms of measurements, and as of now, the only people actively using imperial over metric are the people over the 30 to 40 years of age bracket. In essence, There will be some newfound space on the other side of our measuring rules in the coming years, and I put forward that we replace the imperial side of the rule with a dosimetric system of measurements to complement the standard metric we currently use today. My hope is that we'll start to use base 12 rather than base 10 someday, and make everybody's lives that little bit easier when performing mental arithmetic. For instance, here is the times tables for my conlang in development Yazhuvchan. So yeah, that's all I guess. Links in the description for my Discord server. We're now 40 plus. Come to the dark side, we have cookies! Like and subscribe, and I'm off to the party. Unks, 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 unks.